So earlier this year, I was sat in a pub, and whilst I was there, I got an email that flashed up on my phone to tell me that the Beatles in Mono box set was about to be reissued, and it was up for pre-order, but it was limited stock. So I got my phone out, I looked at it, I went to pre-order it, and I ummed and ahed when I seen the price, because it was like 350 quid, 400 quid, something like that. And I thought, no, I'm not gonna. Now, back in the day when I was first buying records, I bought the Beatles in stereo box set. At the time, they were both in stock. I could have bought the mono one or I could have bought the stereo one. And like an idiot, I bought the stereo one for the simple reason it had all the albums in Abbey Road and Let It Be with Rosewood, whereas the mono box set didn't include those two albums because obviously they were never done in mono back in the day. So rather than do the logical thing and buy the mono box set and then buy those other albums separately, I bought the stereo one. And ever since then, I've been suffering with stereo mixes. And I've ummed and ahed over the years about buying mono copies. And then when this came up and I seen the price, I was like, oh no. So I haven't given up. I didn't give up. So I didn't buy the box set, but what I did decide to do, and maybe this was a stupid way to do it, was I would just buy second-hand mono copies from the 60s. And I finally, just yesterday, just the other day I should say, completed it and got all the albums in mono. So I don't normally do videos like this. I thought I would come on here and show you all these mono copies I've picked up. I'll tell you what sort of what pressing they are, whether they're first, second, etc. And show you them. Now, I'm one of these collectors where I'm not as arsed as maybe some people are when it comes to Beatles albums with the quality of them. I'm not one of these people who get uptight and on my high horse. I don't want that because the spine's damaged or something like that. You know, the quality of some of these is not the best quality in terms of the artwork. But for me, the important thing is as long as the record plays, that's the main thing. And thankfully, with all of these, they all play really well. So, yeah, I'm quite chuffed with this. And I haven't kept a track of the price, but I think for the most part here, I've probably kept it below what the Beatles themselves were charging for the reissue of the mono box set, so we will see. Anyway, we will quickly go through this. They are all UK pressings. That was the only rule I set myself, UK pressing only. And I also set myself a rule that, it wasn't really a rule. I wasn't bothered whether it was first pressing, second pressing, anything like that. I just wanted to own them. So even if they were a repressing from the 70s, which I don't know if there was many done at that point, I wasn't that bothered, but luckily most of these are first pressings. Anyway, let's get cracking. So first up, I didn't buy them in this order. I'm just going to show you in chronological order. I'll try and remember where I got them all from and I'll tell you as we go. But first up, we have Please Please Me, the debut album. This one is a 1969 repress. It's in decent enough quality. There's the front cover. There's the back cover. I'll show you the record itself. It's in the EMI, its original sleeve from the time, well, from the repress. That's how you can tell it's a 69 repressing because it's got Sgt. Pepper on it. The Parlophone label is the later day one rather than the early one. But yeah, I think that's in decent enough quality and it plays. There's no skip, it doesn't skip or anything. Which is something with the Beatles in stereo box that I had a big problem with because Please Please Me jumps on the stereo. I don't know if it's just my particular copy on the box set, but yeah, it's not great when I've paid for a brand new pressing like I did back then and it jumped. So yeah, this one doesn't. Anyway, so that's the debut album, Please Please Me. Next up, we have, I should say, I got that in my local record store here, the Vinyl Cafe here in Carlisle. Check it out if you're ever in the area. James Brown runs it, but not that one. Right, next up, with the Beatles. This is a first pressing, and this is a first pressing because this is the one with the typo. I'll show you in a sec. But that's the front cover. It's in decent enough condition. Back cover, as you can see, it used to belong to someone called Kay. My ex's mother was called Kay, so hopefully it's not her. Surprise if it is. Anyway, yes. The error, yes. So on the back here, it's got a typo. It says you really got a hold on me rather than you really got a hold on me. I think there's another one as well, maybe. You really got a hold on me, and no, maybe that's the only one. I thought there was two. But anyway, yes, that's the error on the back cover. I feel like there's another one that I'm missing somewhere. There's something else about this one. But yeah, on later pressings that got corrected, so it's only on the very original pressings. But I'll show you the record. Still in its original sleeve. And the record itself, I mean, that is pretty good condition, I think, for a, whatever this is now, 1963, 62-year-old album. So, yeah, pleased with that one. I also got this one from my local record store, the Vinyl Cafe here in Carlisle. They're not all from the same record store, I should say. So I'm not going to keep saying that. Next up, Hard Day's Night. Again, it's a little bit battered and stuff on the back and on the bottom, sorry, and the back is all, well, the back's also a bit battered and stained, but you know, it's decent enough. It doesn't, you know, you look at it from a distance and it looks fine. It's only if you get up close to it. The record, the sleeve is a bit damaged. It's not in the best condition. It's still in its original sleeve, I believe. But the record itself, the most important part, you know, for the most part, it's decent. It plays, it doesn't skip or anything, so yeah, I'm pleased with it. This one is also from my local record store, the Vinyl Cafe. Got to get this back in now, which ain't the best to do when the sleeve's not in the best condition. I might change that sleeve, to be honest, to a new one. Right, next up, Beatles For Sale. There's the front cover. There's the back cover. This one's in pretty good condition as well for its age. The corner is a little bent, but otherwise. The gatefold itself as well. Yeah, that's okay. So I was pretty pleased with this one as well, to be honest. Again, it's in its original sleeve, and the record itself, from memory, it should be, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, there you go. There's the front. For side one, I should say. And side two, looks decent enough to me. And it's played pretty well. I've played this one quite a lot recently, actually, which is saying something, because I always never really cared for this album that much, but there was some genuinely really great stuff on here, like Every Little Thing. I would say it's probably my favourite track on here at the minute. That one was from Newcastle. I bought that, I met up with my good friend Ross Goodall. In Newcastle, we went record shopping, went on some record fairs around different record stores. I got this one in Newcastle. I can't remember the name of the store. It's the one near the station where you go down some steps into it. It's a cool record store. And from that same record store, I also got this one, Help, which, to be honest, of all these, is probably the one in the best condition, which surprised me that it hasn't really, like the white cover is still pretty white. It hasn't gone yellow like a lot of them you see. The back cover's in good nick as well. I think I paid maybe a little more for this one, but it is in better condition than some of them. And the record itself, decent enough, it plays. You know, there's the odd little mark maybe here and there on it, but it plays okay. So, yeah. There is Help in mono from the same record store. Let's put that one back in there. Next up, I think actually this was the first, well, technically the first one I bought when I started doing this. Rubber Soles. So this one is a second pressing. I should have said there, sorry, I forgot to say. Hard Day's Night and Help are both first pressings, I think. I've got it written down here. Yeah, they're both first pressings. Beatles For Sale is a second pressing. This one is also a second pressing. So it'll be, yeah, early 66, I think this one will have been pressed. This one is not perhaps in the best condition, the cover, but the record itself is fine. I'll get that out in a sec. There's the front cover. There's the back cover. Again, this one, like I say, is a second pressing. It's from my local record store. This is the last one, I think, on here that's from my local record store. But it plays decent enough. And there is the other side. Doesn't skip or anything, like I say. So, yeah, that's Rubber Soul. Now, this is where I kind of have not broke the rule, not that there's any rules or anything, but I've kind of gone, I'll put that back in better later. This one's a little different, Revolver, because a couple of years ago, 2022, when I bought the Revolver box set, as part of that, you got a new pressing of a new mono pressing in. So this isn't an original, this is a 2022 repress, but it's still the mono version. And I thought my main goal with this was to own the albums in mono. It wasn't to have original copies. If it was an original, that's just an added bonus. So I didn't feel the need to go out and buy another copy of Revolver, a second-hand one, when I already had a perfectly good new pressing in mono, if that makes sense. So, yeah, front cover, as you can imagine, this will be in the best condition out of all of them, under the circumstance, because it's new. And the vinyl as well is, I think it's 180 gram rather than all the other, which originally obviously it won't have been. Side 1 and side 2. So I won't spend a lot of time talking about this one, but It is one of those things though, mono. Most albums in the 60s, I can't remember if I said this earlier in the video or not, most 60s albums really, I've had this discussion with people before, you're best listening to them in mono because stereo was kind of an afterthought for most acts, including the Beatles, in the 60s, but I'll say more on that towards the end of the video. I'll finish your knees off first. So next up, this isn't technically a studio album, but I do own it. It's a collection of Beatles oldies. This was actually the first mono thing I bought. I bought this years ago. I think I bought this during COVID back in 2020. I got it off Discogs. I can't remember why I bought it, to be honest. I think I just thought, I'll hear some of these songs in mono, and that was the reason why I bought it. So this came out in December of 66. It's an original pressing. I don't think this has ever been reissued, but the way Apple's been going in the last few years, they'll probably announce this as the big release next year, a repress of this. So there's the front cover. There is the back cover. The record. There's the sleeve. Let's have a look. I can't actually remember. That's decent enough quality. Side 2 and side 1. So yeah, collection of Beatles oldies. It's a good album. If you don't own it, it's definitely worth picking up. So so far all these albums in mono, they were pretty easy to come by. I didn't have to look very hard to find them, to be honest. These last two seem to be a bit harder to find in mono, or a decent copy was harder to find in mono. So to start with here, we are going with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which looking here at the cover itself looks fine. So yeah, the back cover as well, it's, you know, slightly bashed here and there, but for the most part it's fine. Gatefold is okay as well. There is some slight damage on the spine from it, you know, from it not opening properly, but or not being manufactured properly. But I'm not bothered about that, to be honest. It is also missing the tash and the poster and stuff, which I'm not bothered about that again because I've got like 4 other copies of Sgt. Pepper that all have that stuff in, so I'm not that bothered. Anyway, it's in a new sleeve. It's not in its original sleeve. Now, the quality of this one is not, in terms to look at the record, it's a little more scuffed, but they're just sort of hairline marks. They're not actual scratches. If you stroke your finger along, it doesn't go into the groove or anything. I played it yesterday. There's a bit of crackle here and there, but the actual record itself, it plays fine. It doesn't jump, it doesn't skip or anything like that. It's decent enough quality. I'm pleased with it, to be honest. I got that at a record fair in Camden Market over the weekend, just gone. And finally, we come to the last album in mono. Here it is, the White Album, or the Beatles as it's properly known. Now this one, as you can see, of all of them, is probably, in terms of the artwork, the one that's in the worst quality. But the White Album, because the nature of the cover, it's pretty hard to find a one in pristine condition. And you pay extra if you want one in pristine condition. I never knew until I got this that the originals came where the records came out the top. But anyway, Pepper is a first pressing, I should have said, and this is also a first pressing. So the record itself, again, like the Pepper one, it's a little bit scuffed, but for the most part, it's decent enough. It plays okay. There's a bit of crackle here and there, but it doesn't skip. It doesn't jump or anything like that. So, yeah, I'm impressed enough with it. And again, like the Pepper one, the poster, and the picture cards, they're all missing from this. But, you know, again, it's a, 50-odd-year-old album. I'm not that bothered to be missing those because I own other copies of it that have those things in. So if someone else has wanted to nick it along the way and put it up on the wall, then I'm not bothered about that. There you go. Side 3 and side 4. Again, slightly scuffed, but that's it. Plays decent enough. Anyway, where's that one go? I should really put these all away later rather than waste your time doing it now. But yeah, number, if you care, is there. I'm not going to read it, but there you go. Hopefully you can see that. So that's all the albums I own. Now I know there will be people watching this thinking, where's Magical Mystery Tour? Well, like I said, UK pressings is what I wanted. A Magical Mystery Tour was not a proper album back in the 60s. It was only in the 80s when they decided to add it to the canon. So what I do own is the EP, Magical Mystery Tour EP, first pressing in, which is obviously in mono. I'll show you the records. I got this in Manchester years and years ago. It was only like 20 quid or something, and it's in pristine condition. This is, I'm impressed with the quality of this one. If I seen a copy of the Magical Mystery Tour album, I would probably pick it up just for completion's sake, but I don't need it as much because obviously I've got this EP plus all the other songs that are on the US LP. I've got the singles, so I've got them all on that in mono, so I don't need the album as such. There you go. Again, this one plays perfectly. I don't even think there's much crackle on this one, so yeah. Anyway, there we go. That is the Beatles in mono. That's all the mono things that I own now. I've completed the collection, completed the set, I should say. But the big question I always have with it, obviously we all know mono is the way to listen to these albums. It's the way the Beatles recorded them. It's the way they intended for them to be heard. And yet all the CDs, they were pressed in the using the stereo mixes. All the repressings really of the LPs are always using the stereo mixes. If you go into HMV, for example, don't go in HMV, but if you were to go in and you looked at the Beatles LPs, they would all be the stereo mixes, despite the fact that the Beatles themselves were never involved in the stereo mixes. It was the mono mixes they were involved in. I don't even think George Martin was involved in the stereo mixes. It was just some kid probably that got to do it. I know Jeff Emerick got to do the stereo mix of Revolver. And the stereo mixes on these albums, for the most part, are awful because they're afterthoughts. They didn't put much effort into them. It's the mono mix where they put all the effort to. And the same thing with streaming. It's all the stereo mixes on there. Now, with the ones that have been remixed, Revolver, for example, the stereo remix of that is fantastic. It fixes all the problems with the original stereo mix. But the mono mixes aren't on streaming, and I don't understand why Apple don't put them on. If they don't want to give us remixes of the earlier albums, then fair enough. But put the mono albums on at least so we can hear them better, rather than having to listen to annoying separation in headphones. But yeah, I mean, some of the mono ones are on streaming. I think Revolver and Sgt. Pepper is on streaming, but it's only on the super deluxe editions of the albums. You've got to scroll all the way to the bottom of them to find the mono mixes. And if you were just a casual fan getting into the Beatles, you're not going to go and find them there. You're just going to listen to the regular album, which will be the stereo mix. And the White Album was a weird one because the mono mix was not actually really included in the box set at the time. I think it was maybe on the Blu-ray, but that was it. They didn't put it on a CD or anything, which again was bizarre, but I don't know if they just thought we can't do any more discs because there's a lot of discs on the White Album one. It's by far the best of these box sets we've had. But yeah, I think that's all I've got to say here. I just wanted to show these more for my own sake, so I've got them catalogued on here now. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Let me know, do you own the mono albums? Did you buy the mono box set? Maybe I should have bought it in the end because I'd have got that book as well, but I assume the book's just the same as the one in the stereo box set. So yeah, and I like to own second-hand ones. I like to own pre-loved albums where you can feel people have got enjoyment out of them. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say for now, so thank you very much for watching. I'll be back soon probably to talk about that new Wings book. Maybe, I don't know. It depends how long it takes me to read it. I won't do a video until I've read it. Anthology 4, I still need to pre-order it, but I will be doing a video on that at some point, even if I don't buy it on the day. I'll probably do a video just talking about what's included, what I think of it. Yeah, and there'll be other stuff this next month. So yeah, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and you can see more top quality content like this. Anyway, yes, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on a future video. Goodbye.